Well, hi everybody. This is going to be an unboxing of the Milwaukee M12 12-volt drill driver and hex driver. Um, Anybody that watches my videos or knows me knows that I'm a Ryobi fan. My garage is smattered in green. I think Ryobi makes the best tools there are for the money. But they don't really make a 12-volt drill. And I understand why. They're going with the 18-volt system. But I find these 12-volt drills to be really attractive for some reason. They're interesting to me. I guess because they're kind of a cute little tool. They're small. They fit in small corners a lot better than the full-size 18 volts will. And I think it's interesting how much battery technology has improved. You know, a 12-volt drill 15 years ago was a toy meant for hanging, pictures. It was not something a serious do-it-yourselfer would use. The battery life wouldn't hold up to the kind of load you would put on it if you were building a deck. Whereas 18 volt, 20 volts have plenty of power. So I'm curious about the ability of these 12 volts. And right now Home Depot has a fantastic sale for Father's Day. This little kit's normally $179, I believe. It was on sale for $99 this weekend. And it's Father's Day and I don't have any kids, therefore I have the money to splurge occasionally on a little toy for myself. It very compact from looking at the box, and for that price you get the drill driver, the hex driver, or the impact driver I should say, 2 batteries, the charger, and a pack. The box is heavy. So my first thought with heavy, though, is quality. You know, in the old days, heavy meant expensive. So let's open this and see what we got here. And this is my first unboxing video. Kudos to the guys that did this. Didn't realize how hard it was to use a pocket knife through the lens of the camera. Set this against my coffee cup. You get real life videos here. This is very raw. Okay, so it comes right out of the box, already in the bag. Interesting. Instruction. So they've got the 12 volt and the 18 volt. I don't know a lot about Milwaukee tools. I know that they're a good brand. I'm in no way hating on the brand. They've just always been out of my price point. And once I had already gone all Ryobi, I didn't really have a reason to go spend a lot of money on another drill. So I've always respected them, thought they were a good brand, just not in the price point that I was paying. We got our charger. Looks like that it says M12. Makes me think it only would charge a 12 volt. I'm supposing that wouldn't charge a 18 volt tool, which is pretty common. 2 batteries. Small batteries. I don't know if they're very small. I'm going to be interested if the tool will stand on its own. I bet it won't. But I believe you can get a larger 12 volt battery too. I'm never going to need that. Like I said, I almost bought this as a toy. Realistically, I did not need this tool. The 12 volts are interesting to me right now. And this looks like the drill itself. Belt clip already on it. It's heavy. It's really, really heavy for a tool with no battery in it. It is twin speed. 18-piece, 19-position chuck. I'm going to say the weight is because it's got metal gears. You know, the keyless entry, my goodness. The keyless chuck is made of metal, whereas it's usually plastic. I'm not even sure if the DeWalt's are made of metal. We've got our little impact driver. A 12-volt impact driver. Can't think of why I would ever use that. Tight spaces, maybe? They're small. they're much smaller than, for comparison. I've got my old reliable, my dirt cheap, the $50 Ryobi drill. At the time it was, I think it was $79 for the drill and the impact driver and 2 batteries and a carry case and a fast charger. So this was their introductory drill. I've used the heck out of it. But, you know, for comparison, you've got a lot smaller tool in your 12-volt system. Let's see what it looks like with the battery. If I can unwrap a battery easily. I'll come back to that. My wife has the Ryobi 18-volt compact, which is actually, it's a lot closer, but you know, if you're working in the back of a closet, small closet, or if you're working inside some dresser drawers, like I'll be fixing to do, which is part of why I did buy these, I think this distance here is going to be noticed. Compare the 18-volt ratchet driver to the 12-volt. Other than the handle, I don't think that's a whole lot smaller. So I'm going to charge these up and give them a test. Give them a test with full charge so that we can be fair to the tool. Alright, so I've charged up both of the batteries fully, and they actually charged very quickly. Probably less than 30 minutes each, which they showed to be about half charged. I don't know that I believe that. I feel it was probably more like a quarter charge, like anything new out of the box. But if they charge that quickly, you could actually get some real work done with these if they don't die too quickly. You see the lights on the side show you the strength of the battery. It does have a little light on the front. I will say they do stand, which I didn't think they would. That's a really handy feature. They don't come with screw heads. I think that's kind of a cheap thing to do, to not include that. Fortunately, with all of my green, my Ryobi, I had the parts I need to do the test. I'm not going to do a 3-inch screw today. There's videos that have that. I've got a 2x4 treated 2x4 here. This is a really heavy screw. So I'm going to hand the camera off to my wife and do a couple of tests here. I've got this in the setting 1 drilling. I don't want to go through to my table. It does good. I mean, you can tell it's not an 18 volt, but that's a really heavy screw. So let's compare with the charged up 18 volt. This is not a Ryobi test versus Milwaukee. This is just 18 volt versus 12 volt. It's hot, as you would expect. See, the 18 volt has way more power, which is what you would expect. The beauty of the 12 volts is really size more than power. Let's take a 3/16 drill bit and see what we do. And one thing, this chuck is a 3/8 chuck. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about these being a primary tool. I prefer to have a 1/2-inch chuck. I'm going to put it in the drill speed. It has a 1500 RPM drill speed. I think that's really good. You don't see that. Like, for comparison, most 12 volt drills are like this little Ryobi 8 volt, which has a 580, just to show you. See, you can't drill with low RPMs. To compare it with the 18 volt, we're going to put it up in the high speed. You know, the 18 volt, it's 100 RPMs faster. So, the 12 volt's very adequate. I'm not saying anything bad about it. But do keep these things in mind if you're buying this as your primary work tool. This is the ratchet driver. Ratchet drivers, I don't use them often. I use it, or yeah, ratchet impact driver. I call it a ratchet driver. A lot of people call it impact driver. It probably actually is an impact driver, but I don't use them much. Usually when I'm building a fence or a deck and I have some long screws to put into the lumber. So my 18 volt's been used a fraction of the time my drill has been. Let's see what this little 12 volt will do. On the same screw I just used the drill on. I think that's impressive. It didn't lug down at all. Pulled it right out really quick. And drove it in really fast. So let's compare that to the 18 volt. See if our it's hot. If I would have planned this video out better, I would have had multiple screws. But like I said, you get raw videos here. This is
straight off the cuff.
Straight off the cuff, exactly. Thank you. So with the 18 volt tool for comparison, it's faster, as you would expect. But I'm impressed with that 12 volt. It did good. So overall, they're, like I said, I wanted them as just kind of a toy. They're going to be good for really tight little jobs, and you couldn't beat the price that they were right now.
Right, less than a mani-pedi. That was your justification?
Yes. Yes, less than the mani-pedi, which is why I have to do all this work myself, because I couldn't afford contractors after being married. Alright, thank you much, enjoy.